This is a Brother AX-25 electronic typewriter. I always enjoy when there's videos on the internet that people have made that seem like they made it for me when I'm looking up something. And so I want to be that person for this. I'm not an expert on this typewriter, but I figured out some things about how it works, and hopefully that's helpful to you. I also think it's just a good idea to archive how it sounds, what it looks like. So it's plugged in. There's a switch on this side. Switch it on. Okay. There's a little slider here. This slider can move, and it can set where the edge of the paper is, where the front margin goes. I'm sure that can be changed. You can set the left and right margin. This is at its furthest point, so I leave it there, and I just use this paper. Look at it. Look at where this line is. That's where the margin's going to start, right? You can set the right margin afterwards as well, but let me put this paper in first. There's a switch here that lifts this up. You can tuck the paper in behind the roller, make sure it's pressing against that little slider, push it in, make sure it seems straight, close that, which will push the roller against the paper for friction, and you turn the wheel on the side here. There's one on this side too, and you bring the paper through until it goes above this piece, right? I want to get the most out of my paper, so I don't leave as thick of a margin as a printer would. I roll it down a bit. I like to start towards the top more. Okay, there is a screen here, an LCD screen that is very finicky, and I can't always get it to display anything. But if you hold the status button, you can see arrows on the screen, and arrows, oh, let me see if I can get it. There we go. I don't know if you can see that here. See those arrows? They point to each setting. And those settings, if you change them, the arrow will be off or on. And it points to what the word is above. So like that arrow most to the right, it's pointing at L-L. That's line by line. Okay. If I want to turn line by line off, which I will, I'm going to hold the status button and find the line by line option here, which is aligned with number 6. So I'm going to hold status and press 6. Now that arrow by line has disappeared. That means it's off. And I can start typing. By default, it's ready to go. The margin is set. You can set the margin by pressing status and then the margin button. And there's a right margin set. Here, let me get closer to that too. If it's got white text, that means you can press status and use it, I believe. I think you might also just be able to press it. If it's got green text, you need to hold code first. Code and then that. I'm not going to go through that. I'm not an expert on setting the margins, but if you press space enough times, it'll go to a certain point, and then you can press the button and it'll set that margin. It's already set up for me, and you'll see once I start typing. So it's ready to go. I can just press a key, and it types it, right? Like test. Works like a normal keyboard, like how you're used to on a computer. Hold shift to do capitals, to access any of these, exclamation point. You got numbers, you got shift lock, which is caps lock. I believe you need to press shift to turn it off, yep. Then that's it. You can type a whole sentence. And the nice thing is that it's digital, it's electronic, so it remembers what button you pressed. And so if you're typing faster than the mechanism moves, it's not going to get caught. it's going to know what you typed and it'll finish it out, which is really nice. On top of that, you press enter, it goes back to the beginning. If you turn line by line on, number 6, you can type a whole sentence in this little window, and once you're finished and you're sure there's no typos, you press the enter button and it'll type it all out. So I'll do that again. And I'll show that you can see I'm typing a sentence there. I can see all the letters in that little screen. I've typed my sentence. There is a word spell feature that I haven't quite figured out yet, but I believe if there's a typo, it will jump the screen to that typo and you can correct it. I think you're also able to add your own words to the dictionary. Let's say you're typing a last name a lot and it's not in their dictionary, you can add it. So I've typed my sentence and now I'm going to press enter. It types out a whole sentence. This is a little loud. I had never used a typewriter before buying this. I didn't expect it to be so loud. It can be quieted a little bit by having multiple pieces of paper, but I also have it on this cushion because it keeps it from reverberating through the floor or through the desk. A desk will make it a lot louder. It's quietest when you lift it up, but I don't think it's best to have it in the air. So, what else is there? There's a couple of these things here. They all work the same. So you press status. If I do bold, well, let me turn line by line off first. I'll turn bold on. That will keep typing in bold. And that just hammers a bunch of times to get the text to look darker. Press it again to turn it off. You can press center, and it'll preview what you type in here, and it'll calculate how many characters you've typed, and it'll put it in the direct center. So, I was wrong. Huh. Still not sure how that one works. But I'll go back to that. I think you need to have not typed on the line already for center to work. But there is RMF, which means right margin flush, which will also calculate what you're typing first and then make sure it's aligned perfectly to the furthest right margin, which is useful for the date, which I don't know what today's date is actually. Let's say it's the 18th. I type the date, it's previewed here, press enter. And it has it so that the last character goes to the right margin, the last spot that I set. I haven't set these margins evenly, but it's close enough. Okay, so for center, you can't have typed on the line already. You press center, it'll go to the center, and it'll calculate what you type, like title, right? And that adds. It also lets you underline. Takes a little while, but it underlines every character. And there's another feature, auto return, which if you keep typing your sentence, I'm going to turn off underline. Keep typing, it will go to the next line automatically, so you don't have to hit enter all the time. So, see that? I didn't have to press enter and it carried me there. If you're, I believe if you're typing in the middle of typing a word before it reaches the end, and I think it's smart enough to give you a hyphen if it's in like the syllable place for a word. I think I've seen that happen once or twice. I don't have correction tape, but there is a word out button here, which will undo a whole word, I believe. Yep, it undid the whole word that I just typed. There's also line out, which is in green, so if I hold the code and press it, it will undo the rest of that line. If I want to just correct a letter, I can just press correct. Backspace, it does not get rid of the letter, it just takes you back to that spot. So you can type over a letter if you need. Yeah. There's a couple other things here. There's index button, which will move you down to the next line in the same spot that you're, I don't know all the technical terms, that the ribbon or the head, whatever it's called, that's in, it'll just move you down. And you can, there's a reverse button, so you can hold the code, and you can reverse, and it'll take you back to that spot. That's about all I know right now. Well, there's buttons here that change the line and the pitch, the line thickness, there's 2 pitch sizes. Those are simple. The things I don't quite understand is superscript, subscript, which I think make things smaller, but I'm not sure. There's S code, there's BS 1/2, Express maybe. I think Express will take you, so let's say I typed a whole sentence. I can backspace just one, but I think Express will take me all the way back to the beginning of the line. Yes, that's nice. Step and format, I don't quite understand. I'm not sure when forward and in print would be used, but that's about it. And that's how it sounds. That's what it looks like. There's a caps lock, which I'm not sure if it does the same thing as caps lock. I think, yeah, I don't know. Caps lock might let you make numbers, but shift lock might do symbols. That's right, it does. Yeah. This is a word spell. It has that word spell feature, but I'm not really that knowledgeable on it. Here, this is what we typed. Yeah, that's it.